Good evening to you from wherever you are watching us from. My name is Tiffany Wamboy. I will be steering this ship and I will be co-anchoring with our sign language interpreter Fiona Mweresia. We begin with the Nairobi County Government, which has banned all nightclubs from conducting operations in residential areas. In a press statement dated 25th November 2022, the notice was sent out in the wake of rising complaints from residents citing noise pollution from bars, restaurants and premises that sell liquor. According to the statement, licenses will not be issued to premises operating within residential areas, while those already in operation will have their licenses revoked. Bars and restaurants have also been ordered to stick to permitted timelines of up to 10 p.m. Just recently, the Kisumu County Government banned all churches from equally operating within residential areas as a result of noise complaints. Give us your views on this via our SMS line, which is 22232. Our Facebook page is Hope TV Kenya, and on Twitter find us on HopeTV_Kenya. And we go to our next story and top story for today, where Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has commissioned the National Steering Committee of Drought Response and appealed to Kenyans to further complement the government intervention efforts by contributing in cash or kind to the well-being of those in need. The 15-member team will be chaired by Safaricom Chief Executive Officer Peter Ndegwa and will report directly to the Deputy President.
The lifting of the 10-year ban on genetically modified organisms, GMO foods, has continued to elicit mixed reactions from various quarters. The Embassy of Denmark in the country has now distanced itself from the genetically modified organisms, GMOs debate, saying that they do not support it. Speaking in Taita Taveta County on Thursday during the celebration of banana cultivation, the official of the embassy, Charles Wekesa, pointed out that their organizations will continue to cooperate with Kenya to improve the production sector.
We'll just dismantle that pathway if we give it another direction. That is the only challenge I'm giving you as a county and the farmers. Or else when it comes to GMO, the government of Denmark will not take any position. It's upon the county government, the national government and the farmers.
Taita Taveta Governor Andrew Mwadime, while addressing residents, said he has organized a meeting with the High-Level Commissioner of Tanzania in an effort to improve the good relations between the country and Tanzania, which to a large extent benefit each other in the production sector.
Nchi ni siku njema na mimi namuomba tushirikiane na hawa wafadhili. Hata ni jana tu nimemwita High Commissioner wa Tanzania, alikuwa kule ofisini. Na madhumuni, sababu, malengo, nia ilikuwa niongee na yeye. Hawa wavuvi wetu hapa Legijibi wakivuka upande ule sangine ni matatizo. Nyinyi wenyewe wakati tunafanya biashara zenu hapa sangine ni matatizo. Tunataka tuwe na uhusiano mzuri. So yeye anaorganize mkoa wa Kilimanjaro aje huku Taveta, tuje tusemezane na vile vile twende upande ule, wananchi waishi maisha ya upendo na amani kama vile maana ya wakujaa. Maana wakujaa ni upendo na amani na maendeleo.
However, the problem of flooding has seriously crippled efforts to improve agricultural development and agricultural business, steps that have led the county to search for alternative methods to protect against water, which is increasingly becoming a problem for farmers this rainy season.
Ukipata pia maji, unakuta hapa Lesesia, ukienda hapa Mata, hakuna maji. So, if we can get another form of catalyst, just look for this water, and if possible, spread to the other side. I am sure this county, it will feed the entire county.
Bomeni Ward Representative Chris Pastondo has said that the problem is now threatening to affect food security in the county and the coast in general.
Hii tatizo la maji si tatizo la Bomeni, si tatizo la Bogoni, bali hili tatizo ambalo linaathiri coast province nzima. Kwa sababu hii mimea ambayo inaharibika katika siku moja ni mimea ambayo ingeweza kulisha wananchi wa pwani zaidi ya 3,000.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tess Njenga.
Apologies for that. That was our story on Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki, who has called on the national government administrative officers at his Ngao to be in the forefront in supporting government policies. And on to our next story. The National Assembly's Departmental Committee on Health has today conducted an inspection visit to the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, that is KEMSA, warehouse in Embakasi, where they were given a tour of the new warehouse. The committee and KEMSA CEO Terry Ramadhani addressed KEMSA reforms following the COVID-19 kits procurement scandal, disposal of the COVID-19 dead stock, and the fate of over 300 employees who were last year sent on forced leave. Michelle Macau now reports.
The Kenya Medical Supplies Authority KEMSA today hosted members of the National Assembly Health Committee to get acquainted to the new structures, processes and challenges faced by KEMSA. Members of the Health Committee noted that some of the challenges KEMSA is facing are, among others, debt from the counties which haven't been paid and litigations rising from the reforms where some workers were sent home.
You are aware in the recent past there's been a problem problems that came during the COVID period. For example, there are issues of debts which have not been paid, although they have supplied. And interestingly, most of these are actually from the counties, the government facilities, the Ministry of Health. KEMSA needs to have its funds. And so if there are debts outside there, that's a major challenge. They have also informed us of the litigations that have come arising from the reforms that they wanted to make, particularly in relation to human resource. And so that they had some workers that had been sent home, and they wanted to get the process on and clear the matter, whether they are dismissed, whether they are coming back to work. But there are litigations in court that have stopped that. They also experiencing some organizational and process challenges. For example, the biggest complaint you will hear out there is that at the counties, drugs are not there, drugs come late. They had very many warehouses, and now they have rationalized the operations and they have closed over 20 of the warehouses they had. And the information they give us, they have saved up to 200 billion shillings a month that they were using for that.
Kenya Medical Supplies CEO Terry Ramadhani said that their monthly payroll is at 90 million for both those working at home and in the office. She stated that they have a debt of 3.2 billion owed by the counties, in which they are working closely with the COG and the county governance to get the money recovered.
The issue around people who are working from home, we want, and we've been trying to optimize the operations internally in view of the new structure. Remember, the new structure has a new establishment which is driven by best practice, optimization of resources, and ensuring that people have good quality work, but they are delivering. We have 3.2 billion that is owed by counties at the moment. And we are working very closely with the COG and county governors to get this money recovered.
Terry also addressed the issue of dead stock, saying that it has arisen from having excess commodities that are not needed. She added that they are cleaning up pipeline to focus on 100% critical items needed by Kenyans.
We have cleaned up our pipeline to focus on 100% the critical items that Kenyans need, and that is what the institution will continue to do going forward.
Members of the Health Committee were given a tour where the CEO got to explain how operations in the new warehouse run and the improvements made compared to the old warehouse. Michelle Macau, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Michelle, for that intensive report. And we take our first short break right here on Hope TV Newswatch. We'll be bringing you more updates. Stay tuned.
It's been days and Nairobi is still streaming with talent. Can the judges handle it? Nairobi youth showed up in large numbers to showcase their talent. Here comes the last part 4 of the Nairobi auditions. Tune in to The RAF this and every Saturday and repeat on Sundays at 2 p.m. and Fridays at 10 p.m. only on Hope TV. The RAF, identifying talent, inspiring passion.
Ensuring good health and promoting well-being of all people is important in building a prosperous society. On Health Check, you get informed and empowered on various medical conditions, their treatment and preventive measures.
When you ignore gum disease, then the same tooth will start to appear slightly longer.
You also get your health question answered live by our doctors in studio.
The medication she's receiving is for the nostrils.
This child should be feeding enough to gain weight.
And you do a little bit of exercise. It even helps with the breast milk.
If you feel like you have an instinct that things aren't quite where they should be for your child, the onus is on you to seek an evaluation.
This is to help you make best choices about your health and your well-being. Stay tuned for brand new episodes of Health Check with me, Grace Mutiso, every Tuesday on Hope TV. Look and live.
Thank you for joining us here on Newswatch, and we continue with cooperatives and micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui, who has today officiated over the launch of the National Organizing Committee for the 22nd East African Community MSMEs Trade Fair. The trade fair, which will be held at the Kololo Independence Grounds in Kampala, Uganda, is expected to draw over 1,500 MSMEs in sectors of trade, manufacturing, agribusiness and services from the 7 EAC partner states. Speaking during the launch of the committee, CS Chelugui noted with appreciation this year's trade fair theme, dubbed by East African to Build East Africa for Resilience and Sustainable Development, presents an opportunity for over 350 Kenyan MSMEs to have an understanding of the emerging market dynamics and business practices to facilitate business linkages for increased trade. The first ever National Convention on Male Engagement and Inclusion, the two-day convention happening next week in Nairobi, seeks to address the policy issues surrounding challenges that men face in the society and create a platform for discourse and possible solutions on matters such as financing of programs to empower men and boys. Speaking to Hope Media, Thriving Communities Africa Chief Executive Officer Faith Nashipai, who is the convener of the conference, said this event will also serve as an information-sharing platform on best practices for like-minded organizations and will partner with the State Department on gender for formulation of policy frameworks. And elsewhere, the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya has today launched the first annual Kenya Care Innovation Challenge Awards at the United States International University, that is USIU Africa. The ceremony, which was attended by, among others, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Education PS Ambassador Simon Nabukwesi, and Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njuki, sought to accelerate the implementation of healthcare innovations in Kenya in attaining universal healthcare, that is UHC. According to PSK, innovations which were on the rise during the COVID-19 pandemic greatly decreased after depicting great potential for new innovations. The awarding ceremony aims to mine the innovations to solve great healthcare problems.
It's been days and Nairobi is still streaming with talent. Can the judges handle it? Nairobi youth showed up in large numbers to showcase their talent. Here comes the last part 4 of the Nairobi auditions. Tune in to The RAF this and every Saturday and repeat on Sundays at 2 p.m. and Fridays at 10 p.m. only on Hope TV. The RAF, identifying talent, inspiring passion.
Thank you for staying tuned to Hope TV Newswatch. We continue with Nandi Governor Stephen Sang, who has called on the government to consider maize farmers in the country and give them priority before proceeding with the importation of genetically modified organisms, that is GMO. Speaking in Kapsabet town, Nandi County Governor Sang stated that it would be rather unfair for the government to import GMO maize instead of supporting local farmers by purchasing from within the country. He further castigated Trade and Investment Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria for his remarks on the GMO.
We are now asking the minister that the campaign is over. You are now the minister in charge. There is a manner and a way that the minister should be able to address issues. We are asking Moses Kuria, you are doing a good job, but can you step down from the social media and come and start working with sectors and farmers and groups so that those programs, wonderful programs that you have in your ministry can have a good grounding as we work towards moving our nation forward. We no longer have anybody else to blame. We are the government now. And therefore, please, let us desist from engaging in statements that may not be helpful, in statements that may be construed, that may create misconceptions, statements that might set the government against its people. Shock as a region that as we continue harvesting our maize, the government at the national level is collecting money, they are allocating their resources into providing food, but we are not seeing them coming to the laundry to buy maize. Why do you want to import maize to go and distribute in the areas of our country that are facing famine when we have maize in our region? Why don't we start moving up and buying the maize from ourselves?
Right, and elsewhere, health and nutrition experts in Embu have raised concern over the high rate of stunting among children aged between 2 and 5 years as a result of malnutrition. The experts have warned that if the trend is not reversed through proper feeding of infants, the county stares at a generation of children that will not live to achieve their full potential. Speaking during the launch of Malezi Bora program at Kairuri Health Center in Embu, North Sub-County, County Coordinator of Children Health Nutrition at Nutrition International, Joan Irungu, acknowledged the need for quick intervention measures to be put in place to reverse the trend.
Embu County stunting levels are at 26.8%, which is above the national percentage. And this is such a worrying trend because that means that the Embu children are not able to achieve their full potential. Because nutrition helps someone to grow and helps an individual to grow holistically, physically, mentally. And that means for Embu community, our children will not be able to achieve their full potential. That means they are not able to be the best in their schools. They will not be able to be the best in their careers because what stunting does, stunting limits one's potential.
Tunahimiza watu waattend kama clinic 4 kwa at least 4, but kama inawezekana naweza fanya hata 8. So 4 ANC, 4 clinics za kina mama, tunaona percentage kidogo sana yenye wanafanya 4 clinics. So ningetaka kuwahimiza kwamba ukishajua kama uko na mimba, the earliest possible tuanze kufanya hizo clinics, ndio sababu mpatiwe hizo mawaidha kwa hizo clinics, na diposa tuanze malezi bora mtoto akiwa kwa nini? Kwa tumbo ya mama. Because tusipoanza malezi bora hapo, then tutapata mtoto mwenye hana afya mzuri.
And elsewhere, stakeholders in Kisii County have pledged their support to the Ministry of Health to reduce cases of early pregnancies through implementing measures such as the introduction of HIV prevention programs for the youth and further scaling up the prevention of gender-based violence among adolescent girls. This follows a nationwide campaign launched by the Ministry of Health in combating prevalence of HIV/AIDS, as well as early pregnancies and gender-based violence. Part of the county's measures against such vices is the formation of a technical working committee consisting of members from the Ministry of Health, National Government Administration, law enforcement agencies, civil society organizations, among other key partners. According to the Kitutu Central Deputy County Commissioner Elizabeth Atemi, the committee has achieved great strides so far, including the referral of cases to health facilities and prosecutions conducted by courts over such matters. She further reiterated the government's expectation for all expectant mothers to be allowed to resume studies immediately after delivery.
Nikamwambia lazima tujue nini hali. Sasa tukapimwa na yeye. Vile tulipimwa na mimi sikukuwa najua wakati umepimwa HIV vile inaonekana. Mimi nikapimwa na yeye akapimwa. Yangu ikakuwa na mistari 2, yake ikakuwa na 1. Wakaniambia kuna kipimo kingine tunaweza fanyiwa kesho ndio ionyeshe nini vizuri. Sasa mimi vile sikukuwa najua, mimi nikafikiria ni ukweli, nikatulia tu. Ikafika the following day akaniambia amepigiwa simu anarudi kazi. Sasa vile walitulia hivyo bila kuniambia, lakini alikuwa ananipigia simu tunaongea na yeye. Sasa ikafika wakati nikatoka tena kwetu nikakuja kwa sistangu. Sababu sasa hiyo kitu ilinisumbua. Kwa nini tumepima watu wawili, mwingine mstari 2 alafu na yeye 1? Tukaenda nikauliza sistangu anielekeze hospitali yenye iko karibu niende kupima. Nikaenda huko nikapima, ilikuwa 2014. The same month hiyo yenye tulikutana na huyo boyfriend. Sasa vile nilienda huko nikapima, wakaniambia niko HIV positive.
Nilipata mtoto nikiwa 17 years. Hiyo ilikuwa 2018. Yeah. After there, boy mwenye alinipea ball. Mimi sikujua kama alikuwa positive, but yeye alikuwa anajijua na kusema. Then after imechanza niko pregnant, nikakuja hospitali. Bili yangu ilikuwa 4 months. I think ilikuwa 4 months. Then after kujua, nikamuuliza, pia yeye alisema iko kupenda kwake na angeniambia, sababu angeniambia ingekuwa ni ngumu, singemkubali venye alikuwa. Then ikabili yangu after ikiwa 6 months, boy aliamua ile ati tukae kama tunawana. But siku manage sababu ilikuwa ni ngumu. Okay, nilimpoteza.
Huwa napokea hao wasichana ambao ni adolescent, ambao wakati mwingine wakikuja kliniki wakipatikana na hiyo hali, ninawapokea na ninawapatia encouragement kwa hiyo maisha na kuwapatia hali ya kuishi na zaidi ya yote kujipeana kwao kama example na vile wataendelea na maisha.
Occasionally we may get these reports through the teachers. Sometimes people go directly to the police, and sometimes the health workers may come across those cases in the course of duty. This issue is particularly pronounced in high schools. We involve the Ministry of Education officials together with the head teachers to manage those students, because it's a government policy that all students who are expectant are allowed in school.
And in our business news for today, Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumicha has urged supply chain professionals in the country to uphold strong ethics and governance practices to build resilient global supply chain structures. The Health CS was speaking during a stakeholder engagement forum involving supply chain professionals organized by Liaison Group. Supply chain management has, in the recent past, emerged as one of the greatest challenges to operating as a responsible business in Kenya. This is according to Liaison Group Managing Director Tom Mulwa, who spoke during an engagement forum which integrated supply chain professionals. According to Mulwa, the increasing importance placed on transparency has made consumers look beyond company practices in ensuring the organization upholds supply chain ethics.
In the yesteryears, there was a lot of focus, and parents would actually look into the eyes of their children and request and persuade them either to be lawyers, to be doctors, to be accountants, to be actuarial sciences like Michael Mitau. But lately, we are seeing some pressure that, look, you need to get into more sophisticated fields like supply chain management. So we started to think that, look, this is a career for the future. And because what we are seeing is that unless you preserve the value, either in government or in business, unless you preserve the value by having very efficient and transparent and innovative ways of sourcing.
Various speakers who were in attendance noted that investment in transparent digitization holds potential to increase effectiveness as well as reduce human error in processes. The forum forms part of a series of ongoing forums by Liaison Group to identify areas of convergence and cooperation between various stakeholders to promote shared value and growth.
There's now a need to have stakeholders get out of their norm and be more adaptive, engage each other through open discussions as we are having here, share ideas on mitigating the effects, innovatively adjust and work around print times, build inventory and buffer stocks.
A lot of milestones and challenges ahead for the supply chain professionals. And it is not going to be easy, I've got to tell you. We are dealing with historical issues, we are dealing with deeply entrenched negative narrative. It's going to take each one of us as a supply chain professional to change that narrative.
For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tiffany Womboy. And elsewhere, Uber Eats has launched its first ever restaurant awards to celebrate restaurants selected by consumers as well as those selected by clients on its online platform. The winners were in 10 categories, including the Restaurant of the Year, the Best African Restaurant, Best Preparation Time, and highest ratings. Speaking during the event, the General Manager for Uber Eats Kenya, Wangoi Mbogwa, says the merchants and supermarkets have played a significant role in the growth of the business as they ensure different products are available to consumers. Uber Eats has been offering services to 36 cities across sub-Saharan Africa since its inception.
We are rewarding restaurants and merchants that have done a fantastic job all year. It's a combination of the People's Choice Award, so they voted in the app, as well as the restaurants that have really strong operations and give a great customer experience. As Uber Eats, we service all sectors of the market. That could be people who love fast food, people who love African food, people who also really like to do their shopping online. We really wanted to recognize them. We do a lot in terms of partnerships, whether that's promotions, bringing awareness of delivery, and our merchants really are our partners. We work on giving them great selection, using data to help them expand and grow their footprint across the country.
And in our sports updates for today, boys who exit juvenile prison often face stigma and rejection from family members and the community, thereby committing crimes and going back to prison as hardened criminals. Lifesong Kenya, a non-profit organization, has successfully organized a cycling competition from Ngong to Namanga border as they raise funds, seeking to address this by equipping the boys with skills and reconciling them with their families and people they have wronged. And on to matters World Cup, Senegal has claimed their first World Cup victory by defeating Qatar 3-1, registering the first win for an African country. Boulaye Dia opened the score line in the 41st minute, with Famara Diédhiou adding another 3 minutes into the second half at the Al Toumama Stadium. Newly introduced Mohamed Muntari scored Qatar's first ever World Cup goal in the 78th minute with a thumping header, but Bamba Dieng restored the African champions' 2-goal lead just 6 minutes later. And we have come to the end of our bulletin today. Thank you for staying tuned to Hope TV Newswatch. We look forward to meeting you again next week. My name is Tiffany Wamboy. Our sign language interpreter has been Fiona Moresia.